Hey guys, Pete here with GIS Solutions. Today I'm going to show you how to make a web map using the QGIS2web plugin in QGIS. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so let's get started. So if you don't have the plugin installed yet, what you would do is come up here to the top which says plugins, click on manage install plugins, and you can search by, if we type in QGIS2, the number 2, web, it'll come up right here. So if we select onto that, and at the bottom of this window you click on install plugin. It should only just take about a minute to do, and once it's done it should say plugin installed successfully. You close out of that window, and the plugin lives right here. So if you come under web, QGIS2web, create web map. We won't do this part yet. What we need to do is actually create the map in QGIS first, and then we'll come up here to create the web map. Okay, so I'm going to add some data, and the data I'm using are earthquake data. It's my data has the date, the latitude, longitude, and the magnitude of the earthquake. So this is going to be a point layer, and the source where I got that from is the USGS website, and you could specify the magnitude type, like a range, a date range, and also the geographic region. So it could be the world, around the US, or a custom layer. You can move this rectangle around. Sorry, that kind of disappeared, but you guys get the point. You can just move this around to download that data. Okay, so coming back to our QGIS project, I'm going to go ahead and add that point layer. So if I go to layer, add layer, and I come down to add delimited text layer, I'm going to click on the ellipse button here to find my file, and it is right here, and I'll open that. It's a comma delimited CSV. QGIS identified that my lat and long are my X and Y fields here, and I'm going to leave everything else defaulted. I'll click on add and close. So here are my points. Now I do want to add a base layer, and I have a plugin called Quick Map Services where I have a wide range of ESRI, backgrounds, Google, and OpenStreetMap. I'm just going to use the OpenStreetMap standard as my background. So here are all my points, and I specifically pulled out the all earthquakes in 2022 in North America. We could also give our web map a title, so it will appear on the web map itself. To do that, we come up to the upper left and click on Project, go to Properties, and right here under the General tab where it says Project Title, you could give it a title. So I'm going to say North American Earthquakes, and for 2022. Okay. Since we're here, I mean, there's also a way to, I'm going to show you guys how to hover over the different points, and when you do, the points actually are like kind of like selected, and this is where you would change that color. It's defaulted to yellow, and you'll see the yellow. Otherwise, you could change the color here. So I'll say OK to that, apply, and OK. Okay, so I want to look at how the pop-ups are going to look. So I have my identify tool, and if I click onto one of these points, I can see I have the date, latitude, longitude, and the magnitude. So those are what I want to pull into my web map. And of course, if you want to change the symbology, you can. I'm just going to maybe change these maybe over to, say, like a red. Simple marker, fill color. I'm just gonna have a darker red. For some reason, that to me that looks like an earthquake spot there. Okay, so I'm fine with that. So what we want to do is come up to Web and go to our QGIS2web plugin that we just installed and click on Create Webmap. This window will open up, and as you see, we have a couple tabs up here, and we'll kind of go through some of these. So under Layers and Groups, it's showing us that we have our two layers, our Earthquake 2022 layer and our OpenStreetMap. We want the visibility to be on. We do want the pop-ups to be on. There's also this option for cluster. And the reason why we can't see anything right here on the right side is that we have to click this button kind of frequently, Update Preview. Before I do that, I want to actually have my export out to Leaflet. I'm a little more familiar with Leaflet than with Open Layers, so I'm going to choose Leaflet and Update Preview. It actually did that when I selected over to Leaflet, but you'll see in just a few minutes that we'll have to click this Update Preview button a little more often to see our changes. So going back to this cluster, so I do have points. Right now the preview, it's going to select, I believe, about 1,000 features per layer. So I have over that amount. Yeah, it looks like I have about 2,635. So if I go back here, I could definitely increase this to, say 10,000 if I wanted to. I would update the preview and I would get more. It didn't look like it changed a whole lot, but it's just something to be aware of. Now the cluster, I'll show you what this looks like, but in my case I'm going to leave it not clustered just because earthquakes, you kind of want to see all the points around. But if I did hit the cluster, and again I have to click this Update Preview button to see the changes. Now this is the cluster, so as you zoom in, those clusters are going to get smaller and smaller until finally you can see all your points. But again, in my case, I kind of rather see all the earthquake points not clustered. So, but if your data, if it makes more sense to do this, by all means, that's what this option here is for. Again, I'll click the Update Preview to save that change. Okay, so again, the pop-ups are enabled. Now if I click onto one of these, I have the date, latitude, longitude, and magnitude. Now I do want to pull in the titles here. So I have my date, latitude, longitude, and magnitude, and it's defaulted to no label. I'm going to want these to be inline labels. Now the difference between inline label and a header label is this. So if I update this and I click onto one of my points, this is an inline label. It's going to be right next to your value here. Now if I change the date to a header label, it'll be like on top. So again, I need to click on Update Preview, click onto one of my points here, and as you see, it's on top. So it all depends on how you want your data to be shown. Again, you could do no label, inline label, or header label. I kind of like the inline label. For OpenStreetMap, there's going to be no pop-ups. It's defaulted to say yes. I could just leave that, and that's fine. Appearance, this is the next tab over. Now there's some of these I'm not as familiar with. Add abstract. It looks like you could add something to one of the corners there. I haven't played around with that too much. You can have your layers to be collapsed or expanded. Looks like you add a filter, a geolocate user. So this will be, if I click onto that and click the Update Preview, it's one of these buttons that you might be familiar with, like on Google Maps, where it'll zoom to where you're at. You may or may not want that. You could do the highlight on hover rather. So as you can see, if I'm hovering over these points, they kind of turn like a yellow. So you may or may not want that. You could do a layer search. So maybe if I wanted to search just my what magnitude, the earthquakes, I could certainly do that. Match projection, so I could do imperial or metric. Oops, that's for the measure tool, I'm sorry. Looks like I could do, say, imperial, update, and then I got my measure tool. Show pop-up on hover. Oops, and again I need an update. I kind of fell for that too. So I'm just hovering over the points, and you can see that it's the pop-ups showing. I'm gonna leave that off because I kind of want to click onto my points. And going back up here to the address search, this is pretty cool. Again, we have to click the preview button. So it would just search for a particular location. And again, you need to have the internet connection. So if I typed in like San Francisco, clicked return, and then we have that search functionality, which is pretty cool. Let's see, and also the template here, we could do full screen or canvas size. So if I did full screen and did update, now we can see that title that we added earlier, North American Earthquakes 2022. Finally, we have extent, fit layers to extent or canvas extent. We could set a maximum or minimum zoom level. Okay. And I'll come back to export. For setting, you could do a preview on startup, close feedback on success, a couple of options here. And again, I kind of mentioned about the number of records being rendered on the preview. You can play with that here. And of course, there's a little bit more help. Now, once we're satisfied with how we want the web map to look like, we could go ahead and export to folder. That's what I'm going to do. I don't have an FTP site, but if you did, by all means. And then you click on this ellipse button, and this is going to direct to where you want that folder to go to. So I have a QGIS folder I have in here, QGIS2web. I'm going to select that folder, and I'm going to leave this defaulted. You could have this check mark to minimize the GeoJSON file, which is probably a good idea, especially if you have a lot of data. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and export that. This shouldn't take too long. Of course, it depends on the file sizes and layers you have. Actually what it does here, it creates the HTML, and just with my personal settings here, in my particular case, it actually opens up in my Visual Studio by default. But just so you know, you have this now, so you could definitely play with styles and go further into the development if you like. It's okay. But what I'll do is actually just come up into my Windows folder here, and you can see this is the file subfolder that was just created. So if you recall, I had it under QGIS, QGIS2web, and here's the subfolder. You can see here I do have my QGIS project, my data Excel file, and I was playing around earlier, so I have a shapefile as well. But if we open up the subfolder, I have this HTML file, and I could open this with, say, Firefox. And here's my web map. Now if I click onto one of these points, here's my pop-up. And you could play around with this a little bit more. Looks like you can expand the canvas here. If we go back to the subfolder here, now if you wanted to share this with somebody else, as long as they have internet connection, they could open up this web map. And what you would do is just copy this entire subfolder Either you could zip it or just copy it and send it. They will be able to open it, and you want to make sure you keep all these other files, because they're going to need that CSS, the data, everything. So once they have this open on another machine, they could just open up this this HTML document to open up the web map. Okay, so I hope you guys found some value into this. It's a great tool to create that interactive web map and to be able to just share it with others as long as they have that internet connection. As always, if you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I put out a new tutorial about once a week, so please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss one. And if you hit that like button, that greatly helps me get more visibility, and I do appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.